Hey, welcome back to the Covenant Eyes podcast. Karen Potter here, the host of the Covenant Eyes podcast, and I am so glad to have you with us for this bonus episode. We are actually talking with Bailey Chase, who is in a new film by our friends over at Angel Studio. The film is called Homestead. I have watched the movie, and it's incredible. You're going to love it. Stay tuned for this episode.
Everyone wondered how the world broke.
We're under attack.
Deep down, before society collapsed, we were already falling.
All over the car! Stop!
It was only a matter of time before it all crumbled.
Try to hold your breath. Hold your breath.
I saw this.
So what?
It might be nuclear.
Are you scared?
America's just been attacked.
Get to the homestead.
Is this an ark? Or is this a fortress? It would take a miracle for this to work. But I believe in miracles.
Everyone wants to know how the world ended. This is the story of how it began again.
Well, Bailey, thanks so much for joining us. This film is incredible. It was a great film, and I am so excited for people to get out there and watch it. It opens on December 20th. Is that correct?
That's correct. Select theaters will start getting it tomorrow and Thursday, and then nationwide Friday the 20th.
That's awesome. Well, talk to us a little bit about how you got tapped into this film. Are you a prepper guy yourself, or is this new territory?
I wish. I wish. I got sent off to boarding school when I was 15, so I learned how to do like laundry and make eggs, things like that. But in terms of being prepared, not so much. I was, 20 plus years in LA and New York. You kind of get softened into being a city boy, if you will. And then 3.5 years ago, my wife and I moved with our young kids to the mountains of North Carolina. So loving being back in the country, back in the real world. And Homestead, the shooting this film has had a profound impact on me in many ways. One, being more prepared, having more of an ability to protect my family and provide for my family. And we also, unfortunately, where I live, right outside of Asheville, we got hit with a hurricane a couple months ago, but talk about a positive coming out of a negative. It's really pulled that community together. I've got a hat that says Yancey Strong. That's a neighboring county who probably got hit the hardest. And these people aren't sitting around complaining. They are out there as part of the solution.
Wow, I'm so sorry. That was a terrible tragedy out there. My gosh. And it's good to hear that people are coming together as a community. And that's kind of the vibe you get from this film, too, is like people coming together. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you did to train for this role, because you're playing an ex-Green Beret. So, what went into that preparation for this type of role?
Yeah, I had pretty big boots to fill on this one for sure. They were like, and by the way, he's a decorated, Green Beret, veteran. I don't know, just a top level operator and DEA and CIA and all the other things. You would know it if you've hung out with, a handful of those guys. They've got a motor and an intensity about them. But this guy Jeff, the real life Jeff, he's a teddy bear. When you meet him, gave me a hug and broke the ice right out of the gate. I had we didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but we were able to go to the shooting range, and that definitely helps. Gives me, if nothing else, it just gives me the confidence to know that I'm, holding right and drawing. There's a whole art to drawing and all the things. So it was great to get a refresher. Yeah, I've played some of those guys in the past, but there was just something special and unique about this one. I was able to lean into the flaws more, if that makes sense. As I'm getting on in years, I find that I try to be less perfect and just lean into the reality of, that guy that I'm playing and the situation and the devastation that is all around me in Homestead, and that's applicable to the real world. When that happened with the hurricane, I was out there with my neighbors with chainsaws within hours clearing roads, and again, be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Absolutely. And I think that is a theme that just comes through this film. And the thing that's unique about this film is it actually starts off as a theatrical movie, but it spins into a series that Angel Studios is launching. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this seems to be a new model. I've now done 2, and maybe a third one around the corner, where they'll start out with the feature film, and it's really smart, in my opinion, because even if the series doesn't quite take off, like Hollywood studios, waste so much money on these failed series. But if you start out with a movie, then you kind of know if you have something or if you don't have something. Fortunately, Angel feels like they have something really special, so they went ahead and jumped into the series, and we've shot the first 2 episodes, and those will be available on the app. December 20th is right after you watch the movie. The series will pick up where the film leaves off. But you have a marketable product in a feature film that can live on in perpetuity, whereas if you have a canceled TV show, it just kind of goes away.
Right.
So I think it's a really smart model, and I'm starting to see more and more of these.
That's super cool. Well, the thing that's interesting is that, are you going to be playing in the series that happens?
Yeah. Pretty bad. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, everybody's back in the beginning of the series, and it's post-apocalypse, so things are going to get worse before they get better. But that's all part of a good story, and I can't wait for people to go on this journey with us. And I've been blessed. I was able to go to the premieres in LA, Salt Lake, and Nashville last night, and it's just different watching it in a packed theater, live audience. You're getting real-time reactions, and then you get their unfiltered reviews minutes later, and it's been really nice for me.
That's so cool. And what was the response? Did everybody love it as much as we did?
It has been overwhelmingly positive. You know what stood out to me most, in particular, my friends in LA who were there at the premiere, who are maybe atheist, agnostic, whatever, and there's obviously Angel Studios. There's a faith element to it, and the ending of the movie, it's got me every time. I've seen it 5 times now, and I'm in tears every time. But they said what they loved about the end of the movie, they didn't feel force-fed, that they just went on the journey, and at the end of the film, they believed. And so if you can get non-believers believing in miracles in under 2 hours, you're doing something right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny because when my husband and I were watching it, my husband, of course, went into this movie thinking, oh, this is going to be great, because he's super into survival and homesteading and all that. But the theme that came through, just the faith and the miracles. And, at the end of it, he was like, that was not where I was expecting to end the movie, but it felt so good because as people of faith, that really drew us in, and he was just really moved by it. So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly one, big component of the film, and Jeff's a great character to play, and Neil and all the other military guys, being their alpha male selves. But,
yes.
Then there's, Dawn Olivieri and her boss of a self, and wow, what a performance. And, my wife, Kieran Giovanni, is great. It's just top to bottom. It's a really special cast. And then there's the young romance that gets me every time, and it adds levity to a film that needs moments of that. So, I think we kind of check all the boxes on this one.
Absolutely. Well, talk to us a little bit about maybe how this film might even change, how you think about things. Have you changed, or are you going to start homesteading? Has your family watched the movie and thought, oh my gosh, let's get some backyard chickens and make this happen?
Yeah. Oh, my kids want chickens so bad. Wait till they see this. They're going to be like, yes. So that's definitely on their Christmas list. Thank you for reminding me. I'll have to tell Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted that. Chickens would be the first baby step for us. We could do that right away. Goats would take a little more doing for us. And then, I wouldn't be lying if I said I am better prepared if I were to, unfortunately, have to protect my home and family. So I'm more prepared on that front, and I feel good about that. And then gardening is on the to-do list. Maybe next summer. My wife and I aren't known for our green thumbs, so. But fortunately, there's also a reality show called Homestead Family Survival that's already up on the Angel Studios app, and you get your husband should go on. You get real life preppers on there teaching people like myself, like, okay, this is how you plant a seed, dude.
That is so cool. Yeah, I love that. And I love that that's kind of the theme that they're going with too. It's like teaching people just to be better prepared. It's not all doom and gloom. It's just, being able to help our neighbors if there's emergencies like you experienced in North Carolina. Like, we need to be accessible and available to help one another when there is an emergency. And I think that's such an important theme. So as you're thinking about, the future of this series as it continues to grow, where do you see it going?
So I've seen all the way through the end of season 1. There's 10 books in the series, the Black Autumn series. Yep. And so I'm not that far down the line, but a lot of the audience is, so they have an idea. It won't be the exact same, but they have an idea of where it's headed. What's cool about the TV series that's different from the film, in the beginning we get to leave the homestead, so you'll get to see life, outside the gates, if you will, post-apocalypse, and then just get a little taste of it. And as we get down to the wire there at the end of season 1, it's going to be full on. It's pretty epic, and again, I can't wait for everybody to go on this journey with us. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, great. Well, we'll definitely point our listeners to where they can check out how to get tickets to the film. I believe, does Angel Studios still do the Give It Forward program as well? Is that
so they have the Pay It Forward. So my co-star Jesse Hutch, who you will love after this movie, and he and his comedic timing, he's great. He balances out my very intense portrayal of Jeff. So Jesse Hutch is going to pop on the screen after the feature film, and there'll be a QR code, and he's going to tell everybody how they can pay it forward to, people, to families who may not be able to afford to go to the movies, so they could watch it as well. And then it's just hit the link from there.
Awesome. So fun question, just what was your favorite part of the movie? Like, what was your favorite scene or something special that you can share?
The one that's been coming up, and it got me again last night, the one that I'm in, because there's so many good scenes, and I mean that honestly. I go off on that young romance, and Dawn gets me at the end, and with, what she does and her miracle. There's that scene with Jesse where things are not going well, and Jeff has reached his breaking point. And we all need that community. We need people around us who can, because we all get broken, and we need people around us who can help get us back on our feet. And that happens in that moment. And there's another guy in the scene that we get to make a little fun of, and then some kids go running by, and how can that not affect you? And so I look forward for everybody to see that scene too.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time today to introduce the film. And I want to encourage all of our listeners to go check it out. You will not be disappointed. And I'm just excited that the series continues. So we'll definitely be following along. And then do you have any other special films coming out soon that you want to share with our audience?
I mean, first and foremost, this is the big one right now, and I'd love for people to check out the series and get that going, because I really do want to finish season 1. So we need people to get online and check out the app and watch the show that way. But beyond that, I've got another one coming out, same model that we're talking, starting as a feature, and they want to go to a series called Florida Wild. It was always a dream of mine to work in my home state of Florida, so that was really cool. And there's a guy down there, Mark Pentecost, who's making moves to get more TV and film production down there. And we shot that in the spring, so that should be ready early 2025.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And good luck with the film. I know everyone's going to love it. And we'll definitely make sure all the links are in the show notes. So thank you. And thank you to Angel Studios for producing another hit film. I mean, amazing work. You guys are doing amazing stuff. And it's so good to have good, wholesome, clean content that you can enjoy with your family and take away a really important lesson from the film. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. God bless.
Yep. God bless. Take care.